Hello, friends. Welcome. Last week we spoke about gratitude and daily practices to express gratitude. And this week our conversation is about effective communication. And so I'm going to speak about what effective communication is and share some tips on what would be helpful with communicating and some of the barriers that create conflict in communication, can cause an argument. So effective communication is, or shall I say good communication today, has become more difficult than in the past because there are so many ways to connect. Communication happens in so many forms, including verbal and non-verbal, written, visual, and listening. You would think expressing yourself would be easier, but it certainly is not the case. Between texting, email, instant messaging, Zoom, and cell phones, the options are sometimes overwhelming. And to be honest with you, keeping up with responding to so many forms of communication can be complicated and sometimes confuses the process. Plus, we as humans have picked up this habit of multitasking, which completely disrupts the ability to utilize good listening skills because we're too busy doing too many things all at once. And with so many forms of communication, it's so vital to choose our words mindfully, since they can really be easily misunderstood, especially via text message. And that's why it is so important to have this conversation, especially in the world that we live in right now. So, what is effective communication? Effective communication is more than just swapping information, such as ideas, thoughts, opinions, knowledge, and data. It's about understanding the emotion and intentions behind the information, as well as being able to clearly deliver a message, which also means having the ability to listen in a way that accomplishes the full meaning of what's being said and makes both parties feel heard and understood. Effective communication sounds like it should be intuitive, right? But how many times have you communicated with someone and the conversation does not turn the way that you had planned it in your head? I know I have. So I'll give you an example. My partner and I are from two different countries. He speaks English and I speak American. Now you would think that it would be easy to understand one another, but the words that he says mean something different in the words that I say. And then to top that off with, we are speaking English American, and we can often get into a pickle in the words that we're saying. Even though we may be saying the same thing, it gets complicated. And so we've had to find our way into learning how to effectively communicate, in which I'll describe in how we do. So that's one example as to how we work together to communicate. So what stops you from communicating effectively? What are the common barriers? Well, stress and emotions are one. When you're stressed out or emotional and feel overwhelmed, more times you misread other people and send confusing and offensive nonverbal signals and fall into this unhealthy reactive pattern of behavior. The other one is lack of focus. I talked about multitasking, right? So it doesn't allow you to be present. So when you're multitasking and you're checking your phone and you're planning what you're going to say next or daydreaming, more likely you're going to miss the nonverbal cues in your conversation. The other one is contradictive body language. So that's nonverbal communication. It reinforces what is being said and not contradict it. So if you say one thing, but your body language is saying something else, you're really not listening. Your listener will likely feel that you're being dishonest. So for example, you're saying yes with your mouth and your head is saying no. That's a nonverbal way of communicating. And then the other one is negative body language. If you disagree with someone or dislike what someone's saying and your body is rejecting the other person's message, like you cross your arms or you avoid eye contact with that person, or you're tapping your foot because you're annoyed, you don't have to agree with what the person is saying, but communicating effectively and not putting the other person on the defense is so important so that you can avoid negative signals. So here are 5 tips to effectively communicate. One is be present, make eye contact. Notice what thoughts your mind is going through, what emotions come up for you, or what emotional responding. If you do not emotionally respond, tap into your physical sensations. The other one, number 2, is active listening. So do your best to not think about what the next word what's gonna fall out of your mouth. Listen without judgment and be mindful with your body language. Number 3 is seek to understand. Ask clarifying questions to go deeper in understanding of what the person is trying to share with you versus offering your advice or experience. This really helps with connection at a deeper level and can deepen the relationship. Number 4 is reflective listening. So reflect what the other person is saying, summarize what that person is saying, and repeat the ideas by using the person's words. And last but not least, number 5, practice silence. However, one of the most effective communication tools we can use is silence. Next time you feel compelled to offer suggestions or ideas, try pausing with a couple breaths and allow a few seconds to pass before saying something. It really can be helpful to take a moment to let someone's thoughts and ideas to sink in and their feelings to sink in, so that you can reflect, or both of you can reflect and respond in a kind and warm and present way. So I hope you found this video helpful. Those are the 5 tips to effective communication. Thank you for watching. I have found these tools to be very helpful in my own relationships. And the other one is being clear with your words, finding the words that are clear in the way that the other person can hear you. It has taken me quite some time to learn how to do that, but with practice, that can be attainable. So if you have any comments or want to add on to this conversation, please comment below. And thank you for watching once again. Signing out.